We're only 3 months into 2024 and Ashes of Creation has already given us 2 banger streams back to back. Now, I would say we're off to a much stronger start compared to 2023, and 2023 still ended up being a banger. I think with what we've seen, Alpha 2 coming up, the plans that Intrepid has, we're locked in for a phenomenal year, but I still believe we haven't seen one of the best showcases yet. Alright, we're going to put on our thinking caps today and allow our imaginations to run wild. During the most recent live stream, we got to see commissions. I think we can all agree at this point that the stream was much better than we all had originally anticipated. We watched Steven Quest, but I think the real winner here was actually how dynamic this world actually is. We know that commissions lead into side quests, then events, and finally story arcs. Out of the 4 systems that I just mentioned, 2 of those systems lean heavy into the dynamic changes, that being events and story arcs. In my last video, I clipped the part where Steven dies to lightning. Now, I thought it was very interesting during the Caravan PvP stream that the Caravan was actually affected by the current on the river, and as I just stated, we just saw lightning being part of the dynamic system. But what happens if we take those dynamic changes and apply them to naval content? We've yet to see anything regarding the naval aspect of the game, and that's alright, but I think because the game is so massive, some of the other systems have to wait their turn. I think we're in for a huge surprise once we actually do get to see, 1, what the naval content in itself is looking like. Just like with a lot of the other systems in the game, I'm sure Intrepid is shooting super high to make sure the system itself will be heat. The reason myself, and I believe a lot of others, are excited for Ashes of Creation is because of how each of these systems connect. Nodes, caravans, story arcs, and of course, I can go on. And now, 2, the events, story arcs, and dynamic changes that come along with those. How will those hold up, especially if the content by itself is already great? We know a few things about the naval content so far. There won't be tidal patterns in the ocean, but it won't be static either. Cool. Winds will also influence the speed and direction of your ship. Shout out to all my Wind Waker fans. So let's take it a step further. We got our current, we got our lightning storm. Let's take that, let's put that on the ocean with a ton of other players. What does that look like? I really believe that naval content has the potential to be some of the most fun we'll have in Ashes of Creation. And we don't even know what they may or may not be adding. I think when it comes to node sieges, castle sieges, raids, and all of that crazy high gameplay content, most are excited to see that, but I think we're going to have way more unique experiences in the oceans of Verra, simply due to those types of content not being done consecutively. I don't think it's insane to say that when you account for travel, exploration, and the fact that those previous types of content can be featured along, around, or in the water, I'm not saying that I think naval content is going to be better than any specific type of content, but what I am saying is that I do believe that we have a chance to see some really dynamic mechanics in and around the water when it's paired with naval content. I don't think the dynamic mechanic is underrated within Ashes of Creation because the world thrives off of it, but it does surprise me that we're still getting more and more dynamic changes. We still have about a year or 2 before we actually get the game, and we still haven't seen all of the systems yet. So I wonder what other dynamic changes are going to be represented in the future. All I think this does is help the immersion, gameplay, and overall health of the game and where it can go. I also believe that once we actually get to see a naval stream, It could very well be a long stream like we usually get when it comes to a crazy stream. Or they'll have to break it up into several streams, which I'm not against. We know that we're going to be getting another node update, so I wouldn't be mad at all if the naval stream followed that same outline due to how much comes with it. Speaking of where the game can go, Steven recently dropped a comment on Narc's video telling us what we'll be seeing for next month. And it is the fighter, which I think is the smartest thing ever. We just got 2 months of dope system streams. Let's break that up with the class. I feel like the fighter deserves a class showcase more than any of the other classes since we've been seeing the class so much in other live streams. Thinking back to the basic melee weapon attack update, we saw the fighter and my boy was doing his thing, but that wasn't a proper introduction to the class and kit. I'm guessing we'll be in the Riverlands, see the fighter close some gaps, do some big DPS, but I'll drop a video on my expectations once we get a bit closer to the showcase. Now, I think what we're seeing is what I've been saying. No downtime at all. January, Caravan PvP showcase. February, commissions, which ended up being much better than we all thought. And now, March, we're getting the fighter. I think the fighter showcase is going to be a banger as well because the class showcases usually are, especially the more recent updated class live streams. Think back to the Cleric and Ranger. I think in April, we'll end up going back to see another system because I can't imagine us seeing Bard or Rogue, as I feel it'd be a bit too soon. I'm telling y'all, man, the build up for Alpha 2 is only increasing, and the streams that we'll get after this are more than likely going to have hype around them. I just wanted to take a moment and speak more on the dynamic changes because as much as we talk about Ashes of Creation, sometimes it seems like the dynamic aspect can get lost at times, and I feel like the commission stream really kind of brought that to the forefront. Like I said, take that and apply it to several different situations, land, Underrealm, etc. And we're gonna see it more eventually, so it's pretty lit. I am also excited to see the fighter next month, but I'm even more excited that we'll be in Verra within a few months, dude. Time is flying. Hey dog, what are your thoughts on seeing dynamic changes in the ocean and in other parts of Verra? Please let your man know in the comment section below. If you haven't created an Ashes of Creation account yet, feel free to use my link in the description. If you're looking for a Discord to come kick it in, come rock out with us, man. If you want to stay up to date with me, feel free to follow me on X and Twitch where I stream the live monthly updates. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.